from the heart of Dubai, where tomorrow is being built today, to the world. Welcome to the CTO Show with Mehmet. Here, we redefine technology and reimagine possibilities. With Mehmet, delve into the riveting realms of AI, cybersecurity, and digital technology. Experience the thrilling highs and lows of startups. Immerse yourself in the spirit of entrepreneurship and witness the future of business innovation being written in real time. Now, without further ado, let's tune in and explore the future.
Hello again to a new episode of the CTO Show with Mehmet. Today, I have someone who does the same as me. He's a podcaster, but we share also something in common. Girish used to be, and I'm not sure, Girish, you would tell us more about your journey. You've been in tech. So, Girish, thank you very much for being on the show today. Can you plus tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and all of the things that you do, and then we can take the discussion further.
Sure. Thank you again, first of all, for bringing me here and being a guest here on your show. I've read about your show, and thank you again for inviting me.
Thank you very much.
I've been a technologist, and I'm still am a technologist for the last 30 plus years. I work in the cloud industry. Back in the days, I was all about networking. And then that networking became cloud, and then after cloud became cloud. So I think I'm still doing cloud. So I think that's all I've been doing lately. But in that aspect, it all started back in 2009 when I actually lost my dad at that time. And I did not know what needs to happen when it comes to my business, when it comes to my technology, when it comes to my health, when it comes to anything else. So things were very complicated in my head for many, many years. And then COVID came, and then I got laid off. And that also brought me down. So this podcast, which I created, which is Back to Basics mode, I release episodes every day by the thought process is how to make things simple and fun and educated. And I think in that whole process from 2009 till today's date, I'm actually very grateful that that podcast came in play. We talk about business, marketing, and technology. We talked about motivating people. We have even talked about fitness and health and nutrition. We also help people with finance issues and business issues, or Bitcoin for that matter. We talk about actors and directors. We even talk about even script writing. If you want to be a writer, is there a difference between a script writer and a writer? Is there a difference between a vegan guy versus a vegetarian guy? So for me is to ask all these questions to all the simple, amazing people that I've had on my show. Ask them the simplest question. Will they give a simple answer? And that's the main thing of my show. And so far, I've done 400 plus, episodes. And
wow,
I'm very fortunate that 2022, I became the top 10 best Asian host nominee also. So that's another aspect of it. And this year, hopefully, I'll win one of the awards, and I can only try to win. So whoever's listening right now, please go to podcastawards.com and nominate the best Asian host, or even the best host for that matter, for all the 4 podcasts that I released this year.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing, Girish. And I think, and this is what I like about being a podcaster. I'm very new compared to you, of course. I started my journey just this year, actually in January, but it's something that I wanted to do for a long time. And the thing that I just figured out that we share is that although I called it the CTO show, but there's a philosophy behind it, because people think it's only technology, and I always tell them the word CTO has a lot of meaning. It's technology, it's startups, it's business, it's small businesses. And I like to also help people through this. And what we share also in common, I just discovered now, is that you release daily as well, which is I've been doing. Of course, I was doing even weekends, but I stopped so to make sure that the quality stays as it is. So really amazing. I'm gonna put the link. Please vote for Girish. Like really, guys, you don't know, and I'm not speaking this for myself, but I know how much podcasters put effort to get the guests, the quality, the editing, and so on. So really amazing, um, Girish, what you have done so far. So, but let me, just as your podcast is back to basics, like, and go back to basics a little bit. How did you find this intersection between tech and podcasting? Like, what was, the what you saw coming in the two worlds, I would say, that said, okay, podcasting is where I want to be.
Well, back in my young days in the college and high school days, I said to myself that I need to be in the radio. Um,
Oh,
in order to be on the radio, I wanted to meet celebrities. I want to, chit chat with them and get autographs, and that's just what teenagers used to do. And then, um, and the way back in the days was the radio station was, "Hi, my name is Girish. Thanks for coming to the radio station," right? And that was the momentum of how people
right,
they
right.
used to talk. I was never like that, and so the manager of the radio station said that your style is kind of really crap. So I said, if that's the case, then I'll just leave. So I left. But the way podcasting is nowadays is the way I'm talking now. Very slow, very momentum. People they understand you. People they want to know you better. It's more real than anything else. So podcast, as a podcast listener freak, I became a podcast host. Obviously, so I think I took two blends out of that, right? The teachings that I know about technology and what I know about technology. Uh,
Mhm.
I said to myself that if I teach people how to understand technology, understand even cloud computing for that matter, if I can actually teach my mom or my dad to understand what cloud computing is, you're talking about a PC who's sitting in one location, logging in from a different location. Isn't that as equal as a cloud computing, right? But obviously
Right.
there's more details than that, but if you think about the basic stuff, that's just what it is, right? You teach them robotics, and what is robotics? You teach them a little automation, or even AI for that matter. I felt that this medium, the podcast medium that I'm coming in, I can put in two blends in. I can bring the entertainment side of things where I love to talk to people, and then my knowledge when it comes to technology, you blend that in together. So I felt that these two mediums kind of helped me in many different ways. So hopefully I answered that question for you.
Yeah, definitely. And actually, I took the same path, and maybe and one podcaster told me it's not harsh to repeat yourself. She was talking to me. So I'm repeating this again. It's similar journey I had because when in 2019, I had the thought about it, but I was not very sure yet. And because of the same reasons that you mentioned, Girish, like, okay, can I do it? Will people like it? All this. When the pandemic came, I started to sit with myself and say, okay, I need really to do something. I need, I was sharing just like links and articles on social media, but I felt I need to take a leap for that. And then end of last year, 2022, the way I did it is I said, okay, let me find out what I'm passionate about. And similar to what you mentioned, okay, I like to talk to people because I was a technology consultant and still I do it, of course, and business consultancy. So yeah, I like to talk to people. So let me put this. Okay, what else I know? I love to talk about technology. I love to talk about new concept. I love startups and everything, and I started from the famous Start with Why by Simon Sinek, and the Ikigai concept, and all of these concepts come back to you need to find what you're passionate about and what you want to do. And this is where I found myself in the podcasting, and here I am now. I'm again like 6 months down the road. I feel myself I've been doing this for a long time. I'm doing it in a very built in public way, let's say. So I'm enjoying it, and I'm really happy, Girish, like you have the same thing.
mm,
But of course you've been like longer than me in this, and really I appreciate everyone like yourself who put this effort to get content to people that they will learn from or they will be inspired by, and so on. Now my next question is, and I'm a believer in this. So many tech experts like yourself, and I think you believe that as well, believe that tech skills are better learned on the job rather than through formal education. What are your thoughts on this?
well, I am a big advocate when it comes to hard skill versus soft skills. I'm a very big advocate of that, and I've actually mentioned this more on season 3 of my show. The
Hmm.
reason why I'm saying that, and I want to go and advertise this here,
Yeah,
is that
please.
I am a college dropout because I didn't really care for education. Well, that's not true, is it? Because I think I really didn't really pay attention. As youngsters are, we never really paid attention to that. So I actually worked much harder when it comes to my work, when it comes to my business, when it comes to my technology. I kept on reading, I kept on learning. I learned it from my dad, I learned it from others, many others. Uh, so I felt for me itself is that I need to work on it as hands on. I really need the hands on in order for me to understand it. I want to break stuff in order to fix it. I want to fix it to make it better, if that makes sense. Because the way I look at it is that all the stuff that I've done so far in my house, in my work, in my consulting business, or even the media company that I built for my podcast, it's all about training myself, learning by mistakes.
Hmm.
Now, every day when I go on a podcasting show, I've done many shows. Yes, I agree with that. And according to you, I'm more senior than you. But the thing is that every day of my life, I think that I've started something fresh, something new. Um, so the way I look at it is to your question is um, hands-on is the key to success. If you don't practice every day, if you don't practice AWS, if you don't practice Azure, if you don't practice networking and cabling or splicing or even typing for that matter, because nowadays typing is also a very necessary thing now because you're coding. Um, to your question, I think practice is the way to do it. I mean, hands on for sure.
Uh, I agree with you here, Girish, because uh, sometimes I question myself and I question my friends as well. Like, what are we using from what we've learned in college, right?
Okay.
Sometimes because majority of the time the best things that I excelled in were things that I never learned in a proper, I would say, course
Mm,
slash educational way. It
mm,
was by practice. So when someone showed me a system and told me this is the manual, go figure it out.
mm,
This is the best you know experience I have ever had. Give you an
mm,
example. When virtualization came first in 2000, I think it was quite some time, but when VMware started really to appear on in the markets, it was like 2005, 2006. I'm talking about here in Dubai. I
mm,
know in the US they might have some footprints before. And someone told me, hey, like there's a new technology called virtualization where you can put a PC inside a PC. Like this is how he was able to
right,
explain to
right,
me. And
right.
then he said, can you figure it out? I said, yeah, sure. Let me give me just the vendor name. I will find it. So just I Googled them, downloaded the trial, put it, started to play with it. And it was like fun and I learned a lot. And then when I started to talk to a couple of years later with people, who start to take the certificates, all the courses, all, the things. And I'm discussing with them, said, hey, like which level have you been in the course? I said, I never took a course. And
Mm,
actually, and the people knows my opinion on this, in all my IT career I never believed or took any certificates. The
mm.
reason is, can you figure it out, Girish? Do you know why?
No, no, go ahead. Tell me. I think I have an answer, but go ahead.
Yeah, the answer is because first, knowledge, especially in technology, is very dynamic.
Okay.
So why I would take a course today? I mean, I will take the course, of course. I have no problem taking a course, but why I would take a certificate for a technology that might become obsolete in a couple of years?
Mm,
So, right? No point. I
mm,
prefer to keep learning new things. The second
mm,
thing, like the way they did it is, and here it's the whole educational system, and maybe I'm talking too much today, but I'm feeling this freedom because we are fellow technologists and fellow podcasters, because the education system is broken. I believe that because
mm,
they teach us that you have to do exam to pass, which I don't
mm,
believe in.
mm,
Right? What
mm.
was your answer? What?
Okay, so let me start from a little beginning, if you don't mind. So,
Sure.
um, in the elementaries and high schools, they don't teach you how to be a good saver when it comes to financing, right?
Right.
Who teaches you that? Actually, Life Tree teaches you that. No one in school tells you that you need to save 20% out of your income to make your savings, right? So that's life teaches you that, or people teaches you that, or even the rainy day for the savings account. Life teaches you that. When it comes
Right.
to certifications, that's another teaching that people they teach you, company teaches you, right? But I want to be a devil advocate because there's a plus and minus when it comes to certificates, right? Uh, a person who wants to get into AWS and they have zero experience on AWS, did you know that when you go for a certificate, okay, they give you at least 1.5 years or 3 years of work experience when it comes to AWS. So which
Hmm.
means on my resume, I can say that I had 3 years experience plus I had a certificate. So yes, there are plus and there are minuses when it comes to certificates. You are absolutely correct that when you go for a certificate, right off the bat, it's kind of obsolete because it's just like when you're buying a car and coming out of the lot, your value of the car is going to be 10 grand less when you leave from the lot, right? So it's the same process for a certificate that the value goes down. Does it go down right away? No, but it's after a while, maybe let's say 6 8 months maybe, or even for 1 year for that matter. So then you're saying to yourself is, I wasted 150 bucks on a certificate which I was working on for almost a year. So there are plus and minuses. There's no right and
Of
wrong
course.
answer. So whoever's listening here, they have to understand there are plus and minus to everything in life that you do, including when it comes to your savings account, when it comes to your technology, when it comes to certificates, when you're buying a car, or even just having a podcast. I mean, there's no right and wrong answer. It really depends on what fits you, if that
Yeah.
makes.
Yeah, 100%. And again, guys, like, don't, it's my opinion. Like, don't be offended if you don't agree. Actually, and this is what I always tell usually I say it at the end of the episode. If you don't agree, I would love to hear your opinion. And, I've seen a lot of people who actually were able to accelerate their career using, the certificates. But because what I noticed, they were laser focused on a couple of technologies and they didn't, like, did a blend of certificates just to show off. Like,
Mm,
I know a couple of people, for example, if it's cloud, they go AWS all the way. If it's like databases, they go Oracle all the way, or whatever technology.
mm,
But yeah, but don't take me as an example. For me, just I attended the courses, but I never applied for the certificate. And this is because maybe it's from a personal experience. When I look back and I see my you know high school degree, college degree, and I say, okay, so what?
mm,
Like, so what? Like, like I've seen people who never had even a proper elementary school education, and with the thing that they know, it blows my mind because
mm,
they learned all by practice. I became a believer in learn by practice, actually.
mm,
um, Now, uh, one of the things, like while transforming from the technical role to more creative role, Girish, like hosting a podcast, like what are like some I would say, challenges, or what were some of the things that you need to maybe unlearn and relearn again?
Well, I'm a big believer when it comes to learn and relearn and unlearn. I see that all the time on my show, right? Um, there's some few things when it comes to podcasting world that I've unlearned. If you look, if you watch my YouTubes, if you listen to my audio on my podcast, right? Season one was a beginner's way of starting my podcast, right? Was it right? Was it wrong? I really don't know. That's everyone to decide, right?
Right.
But me as uh, I'm very, very critical when it comes to my work, right? When it comes to my technology work, when it comes to my podcast world, um, I realize because I'm a video guy, I'm a photo guy, right? And I do events for weddings on the
Mm-hmm.
weekends, right? So me on the creative side, I said to myself that I need to look myself in the mirror and say, am I am I good on camera or not? So season one was I just need to get on the camera and show my work. I never really cared about visualization. I never really cared about the angles, the cameras, or anything like that. I'm very critical about that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I changed that over the years. Obviously, today you're seeing the visualization is a little different. When it comes to my audio, that is also something that I've learned over the years, right? And I never really cared for a mic up here or down here or whatever, right? And it's all about design. Um, so I have learned and unlearned when it comes to my podcasting world. When it comes to unlearn and relearn, when it comes to my technology world, um, there are many, many things that I've unlearned. I'll tell you that. Um,
Sure.
me, dropping out of college, and now I'm going back again. By the way, just an FYI, not
Mm-hmm.
for any reason whatsoever. I think I just needed to just finish it off and finish it, and that's just what it is. It'll be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, whatever it is, but I'm gonna make that happen. So that's my goal uh, for me, for myself. So that's my relearn. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
what I've unlearned is a lot of mistakes that I've done in my life when it comes to my technology world. People have told me that, um, with my education and with my learnings, that I'm not capable. I've actually proved them wrong as of today's date. Because I've started my own consulting company. I've started my podcast company. I've started my production house, and I'm helping people like you. Being a good podcaster, I've started a course. I've even started to do public speaking when it comes to kids and education.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I don't know how to answer that question because my life is unlearn, relearn, and learning again. Right? I mean, that's just what I am all about. If that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. But can is there like one or two things that specifically you can talk about in this, like maybe something that really you needed to unlearn it and relearn it again? Maybe one.
When it comes to my podcast or when it comes to my
I- but can be from in the transition, during the transition. What was like one example that you needed to unlearn and learn it again?
well, I needed to make sure when it comes to my podcasting, I need to make sure there's no lights at the back because
Okay.
the reflection coming and the camera coming in front is not good. So the light needs to be in front of me. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that's what I usually do on my photo shoots and video shoots, and I'm like, why can't I do that for my podcasting world also? When it comes to my technology, I really, really felt that um, I needed to learn a little more and concentrate more, and I think I would have been better. There's one thing that I'm not good at. Well, that's not true because I'm getting a little better at it. Is me being a better leader for the organization. This is how I feel. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not wrong. Maybe I don't have the confidence. Maybe I needed a mentor. I still need a mentor. But from the business world, not from the podcasting world.
Okay.
Uh, as a podcasting world, I am the mentor. People, they come to me, and I've done good things in there. So does that make me a good leader? Maybe in the world of podcasting world. But I'm from the technology world. I'm still looking for a mentor. I need some guidance. There was a thought process back in the 60s and 70s, when my parents, they taught me, is that if you don't have a good education, then you can't be a good leader. That is false.
Mm,
That is totally false, because I think the thought process is still there, because that's how I used to think, and I'm still thinking that. But the thing is that in today's world, who people, they don't have education like me, you're telling me that they cannot be a leader in their own organization, in their own 500 Fortune companies? That's totally false, right? Because if I'm running a podcast company, if I'm leading a podcast media company, so you're telling me in the technology world, for all the knowledge that I have when it comes to technology, I can't lead my organization. I can't lead 12 people, or even more than that, for that matter. So I think the perception when it comes to the old way of thinking and new way of thinking is very different now. But how do you change that mindset? That's one thing which I think we're all still learning when it comes to mindset.
It's surprising also for me, Girish, that we still need to change the mindset, although we have a lot of examples out in the wild. There are, all the majority of the companies that people drop out who established them, led them, took them to next level. But I'm not sure, is it like something related to society, something that someone want us to keep believing in this? I'm not sure. Um, but for me, and like maybe the first time I we mentioned something a little bit personal about myself. So you know my wife was asking me what you would do if our daughter, she still have like 3 4 years to go to college, and she decides not to go. I said it's her choice. And that was, oh yeah, but she have to take a college degree. I said it depends what she want to do in life, right?
Mm,
So
mm,
yeah, of course I prefer that she goes, because she will at least get the experience, plus maybe she will study something that she would love. But um it's for me, not me forcing. She have to be convinced that this is the good choice for her, right?
mm.
So
That's
this
right.
is, yeah, this is my personal opinion on this matter.
Yeah, I mean,
um
there's no right and wrong answer to that.
exactly.
The thing is that I'm the most advocate person when it comes to college degrees. I don't have a college degree. But the
Yeah,
reason why I'm going for that is because for my sanity, for my clearness in my head, has nothing to do with my career, has nothing to do with my
100%.
media. So I want people to understand that if they want to go and finish their degree, it has to be for them. It cannot be for future endeavors, for that matter.
Yeah, Girish, you mentioned regarding the podcast. You've been like on fourth season now, and like you release daily, right? So I'm asking you because I get asked this question. So I want you to, from your perspective, to explain how do you manage to find the topic, do all the editing. I know maybe you have a team that helps you in this, but still it's an exhausting task. What gives you this energy after 4 seasons to still do it as you are doing it today?
Yeah. So first of all, it's 3 seasons. So I don't know where I get the energy from. Honestly speaking, I think I balance my time management correctly. That's how I look at it. Um, I don't. Um, I don't know how to answer this question. I don't do recordings on Fridays. I don't do recordings on Saturdays and Sundays, because that's me time, I time, and family time.
Mm-hmm.
So I make sure that I disconnect from everything in the world, and then concentrate on myself for Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays. So Monday through Thursday, I think I'm like a bulldozer. I make sure that everything gets done before my weekend is done. I plan ahead when it comes to my shows. And the way I structured my show for season three is that this season three, I have released four podcasts this year instead of just one. So
Mm,
what I have done is um, I do 25 episodes each podcast, which means a total of 100 episodes altogether for season three. And every year and every season is going to be the same way. Before, what I used to do is I used to go a little crazy. I went 180 episodes before on season one. I went 160 on season two. And then now I said to myself that now people, they know who I am, what I'm all about. Why don't I structure myself a little? So I redesigned it. I went through branding. I went through changing. I went through color schemes. And then I said to myself that I need to make sure that I'm only doing 25 episodes each podcast. So, to your question, time management is one thing that you need to do. If you don't do time management, then you'll go haywire, you'll go crazy, your planning will go crazy. I took a break from, uh, you know, um, one of the weeks of appreciation week. There was an appreciation week. So what I said to myself is, I'm not going to release any episodes at all for that week, right? But I do need to thank all the people who came to my show. So I think building up relationship, managing your time, it makes me a successful person all the way through. And these people, when I say these people, I mean my guest, my amazing, amazing guest. I mean they're my celebrities. I talk to them every single time offline on my LinkedIn. If whoever wants to follow me on LinkedIn, please go to Girish Bali at LinkedIn. You can go there. You'll see all the posts. You'll see all the collaborations that I'm having with my guests. I think I've built a small community out of that. So time management is the humongous key to any successful or any business, anything whatsoever.
yeah, actually, the same thing for me. Energy, I believe, if you're passionate about what you're doing, this is where energy comes in the first place. Yeah, and I agree on the time management. So for me, I wake up very early, and I structure my day in a way where I have time for recording. I'm doing, and I'm not hiding anything, guys. I'm building this in public. I don't have big team. This is what I always tell you, even in the newsletter. Yeah, it's a one man show, but how I'm able to do it, and like I manage the time. I know when to do the recordings. I have time to do the editings, time for the releasing, and by time it became for me second nature. So now instead of spending, because I remember the first 10 days or so were like the most stressful ones, but after that it became like second nature. So I know what I have to do, tack 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 tack, it's out, right? And again, I want also to thank every single guest who was on the episode for me, including you, Girish. Thank you very much, because actually without guests, I was doing solos, by the way, and I stopped doing solos now because although people used to like it, but I felt that I need guests to speak, not only me to speak, and have fruitful discussions. So that's amazing. And Girish, like from the three seasons. Sorry, because I thought you mentioned four before. So any topic that you liked most? Any like thing that you can mention? Any guest that you want to say? Yeah, wow! Like this episode, I did this episode, or maybe I discussed with a guest this topic, and really I enjoyed, and I think it left a good impact on my audience.
Yeah, it's like asking an actor and an actress that which movie do you like about yourself, right? And the answer that they say is that all of them are my babies. There's no right and wrong answer when there's no favorites. It's like, you have kids and who's your favorite kid? You can't answer that. So I'm gonna go and answer that same way. But I'll tell you one thing. There's this one episode which I talked about branding
Mm-hmm.
yourself. Um, They're well, I'm going to say 2 episodes. How about that? So one of them is going to be branding. That's going to be released this Tuesday or whatever, whenever this episode is going to be released on July 11th. That's when it's going to be released. Um, we talked about branding and we talked about the employees, right? Are they supposed to be branding or not branding? Because they are employees of a
Mhm.
company, right? As an employee, I don't care if I'm going to be branded or not. Well, that's not true, is it? So then that was a really really amazing topic when we talked about. Uh, then what we did is we went a little overboard on the recordings, and because we were really enjoying our topics. So what I did is I did a bonus episode also out of that. So we really enjoyed that. So I call that an after party. That's only on the audio side of things, not on the video, because I felt that she was very knowledgeable. And when I find some great knowledgeable people on the episode, I kind of dissect it. I kind of dissect their whole entire brain and put that into one episode or one section or one bonus, as you want to call it. So
Yeah.
that's that. The other one is um, we talked about money and we talked about not how to profit your money in many, many different ways. I mean, there are so many episodes out there in the world, including maybe yours or anyone else's, when it comes to managing your money. But the way she did it is she did it in a very attractive way, very, very amazing way. So those are the two ones, and we can talk about that offline and tell you the names. You can put that in your show notes if you like. But
Yeah.
those are the two episodes that I felt for my podcast that I enjoyed for season 3, for that matter. Season 1 and 2 are different ones. If you want, I can tell you those too. But those are my favorite ones for now.
Yeah, for me, like it's a little bit strange because I'm still new. But again, I was thinking, should I do like season one, season two, season three, and then it looks like I will not take a break any soon. So I kept it like a continuous one. Someone asked me the other day, who inspired or who is your, I would say, the guy that inspired you the most to start the podcast from frequency perspective. And all the names I mentioned, they do daily actually, and they never stop. Actually, they have like now thousands of episodes. Like Gary Vee is one of them, of course. Like Joel Dimas is another one. Like there are a lot of names that they do, and Pat Lind also, that passive, smart passive income. So these guys, they do daily, and they don't have seasons actually. They keep continuously. So I decided to remove the season because I was putting season one episode. I don't know. So now I removed. Yeah, and time will tell me. But for me, I enjoyed heartfully like every single episode because what I discovered, and this I'm telling anyone who's interested to start a podcast, it's not about, of course, later it will it will matter, but for me at least now, it's not about how many downloads, it's not about how many people will watch that on YouTube. What I discovered after now 6 months, wow, because I have to listen again, and sometimes I have to listen multiple times during the editing. Oh wow, each guest was giving me a course, he's giving me a lecture, and for
That's right.
free,
That's right.
right? So and now I discovered that I have a library of people who I've spoke to, like yourself, Girish, and I'm sure when I will listen back to our discussion, I will find, wow, like how much I learned from Girish today. Like this is, for me, it's very, very fulfilling actually, and this is
Mm.
what keeps me, regardless of you know I make money, I don't make money. Of course, we will never, I never know. Will we? Because my plan now is I'm focused 100% on this. Although I have in my consultancy business, but I found my passion here, and of course, I've not hide it. We need to have an income at some stage. So, but I'm doing this currently, really, because I'm fulfilling a passion that I had since I was a kid, because I was also having my own tape recorder and trying to record myself and re-listen. So, but the discussion for another day, I would say. um
But
You want to say something, Girish? I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. So if you don't mind, so you
Please.
know when I first started this, I actually said to myself that who is going to go and listen to me, and
Mhm.
then and when I went further and when I did an intro, then I said to myself, oh, people are listening to me, so I didn't really care about that, and then I realized that I need to concentrate on my work versus downloads. If you concentrate on your work, you concentrate on the creativity, the content, and you don't care about number of views, number of downloads, then I think you'll go a long way. I mean, that's how I focus my work. Um, and hopefully you'll do the same. And I don't think it really kind of matters. Well, it does matter when it comes to downloads and everything else because that's a numbers game. But from a creative point of view, from a content point of view, you should more worry about your content than anything else.
100%. This is what I'm worried about now, Girish. Um, so as we are coming close to the end, I have a very famous question.
Sure.
Is there anything you wished I asked you, and how would you answer that?
I don't know. You've asked me mostly everything. I mean, you kind of know everything about me. Hopefully, hopefully I will come up with a season 4, an amazing season 4, for next year. Season 3 is almost over, and hopefully I'll win my award or I'll get my nomination or whatever it is. Right? I can only pray that it happens. If it doesn't happen, that's okay. All I can tell you is it's still successful, according to me, because from season 1 till season 3, and now I'm thinking of season 4, and it's only going to grow much, much more.
No, I'm sure that it will because I can see, again, the passion that you have put, also the knowledge that you have. I'm 100% it will be also successful, no doubt
Thank you.
on this. What I will do, because we talked about this, but again, so I will be putting your website, the backtobasicmode.com, your LinkedIn handle also as well. So people, if they want to, and the podcast link also, so you can tune in to Back to Basic by Girish. And as usual, as we come to the end, if you have, I mentioned this before, but I'm mentioning as a habit now at the end of each episode. If you have a feedback, a question about this episode or the show in general, I would love to hear your feedbacks or questions. You can reach out to me. You can find my email in the podcast details. You can reach out to me by LinkedIn or Twitter. I'm more active on LinkedIn. Also, if you have a story to tell, if you are a founder that want a place to, because I know it's hard to do PR these days, please come to me. I can tell your story. We can discuss it. We can see what you are doing. I'm looking for passionate people about tech, startups, podcasting, any topics you want to think about. This is why the CTO show exists, and this is what I'm trying to do. Very humble way. Please reach out to me if you want to be a guest, same as Girish was today. And again, to do that, reach out directly by email, LinkedIn, or Twitter, or whatever you prefer. All my handles are in the show website. You can reach out to me. Thank you very much for tuning in and hope to see you again in a new episode. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Take care.
Hit that subscribe button, share the show with your tech-savvy friends and fellow entrepreneurs, and leave us a review on your favorite podcast app. Your support means the world to us.